You're listening to Fear in the Southwest podcast. This is Drew.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Jason.
No Lewis in this episode. Next episode, though.
Yeah. He was unable to join us.
But we have a fun one today.
Mm.
Oh my God. Tell people I'm recording. They're like, I'm going to call you. No, you have to wait.
Is that always the way?
Yeah, it is the way. This is the way.
This is the way. That's what I was thinking.
This is the way. Well, speaking of this is the way, this is a fun way to tell a scary story.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's going to start. We're going to create our own scary story. With some ambiance, too. We want to scare the people. Not politically.
Oh, man, that's our entire series all in
Yeah.
itself.
So, let's get the campfire lit.
And welcome to the Midnight Society.
Welcome to Fear in the Southwest podcast. Scary story time.
All right.
Oh, yeah, who's starting this?
So the way you're looking at me, I'm assuming I'm going first.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay.
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 This would be interesting.
Yeah. Let's think. Okay, let's go into let's go back to high school.
Please
All right.
don't.
All right.
And we're already terrified.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, yeah.
All right. So
Everybody's triggered.
back in high school, a lot of people used to go out to Gates Pass to watch the sunset. To watch the sunset. For teenagers, that's
Make out.
code
alley.
for make out, do drugs, get drunk.
Everybody's got a make-out point.
So let's see, you got a guy and a girl going on a date. He wants to take her out to Gates Pass and watch the sunset. So they go and they park in this little clearing area. You know, there's trees, cactus, animal sounds. But they start hearing like a weird noise. And it's getting darker, and they're trying to figure out what this noise is. And the guy keeps saying he's going to go out there. He's going to go look around. The girl just insists, why don't we just drive away, go to a movie or go do something else? But he's insistent to stay, you know. So finally he gets out of the car to go explore, go see what the noise is. So she's waiting patiently in the car, and she falls asleep. She dozes off for a few minutes. And she wakes up, and she realizes he's not back yet. And she tries to text him, but there's no signal. So she's going to get out of the car, but she starts hearing a weird sound, like can you guys hear that? Like a weird scratching sound. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Like something's going back and forth. So she tries calling him, and she tries texting him again. There's no signal, nothing. And she gets out of the car, and she realizes he's out there, hanging upside down. And it's the zipper to his jacket. It's just on the car.
So, so she sees him hanging there by his feet, just swaying back and forth, zipper of his jacket brushing against the car, making this noise. First thing she does is look around, then runs right up to him to see if he's okay. She notices his clothes are torn. There's slashes across them. There's blood starting to drip, that's dripping off his fingers, pooling on the ground. When she goes to check his head or his neck for a pulse, she sees it ripped wide open. Then, before she can even think to scream or anything, she hears a noise. Sounds like leaves rustling and twigs snapping. She darts around looking. She can't think of anything except to run. So instead of even trying to grab his keys out of his car or even check see if he left them in there, she just takes off darting into the woods. And the whole time she's running, she's going past the trees. They're whipping at her, tearing her clothes. She just keeps hearing the cracking of tree branches, slowly and methodically. She stops to try and catch her breath. She notices all sounds have stopped. She's panting heavily, wondering, is it gone? Will it find me? What am I going to tell my parents? Will I even see my parents again? Then, out of nowhere, hand shoots out in front of her. She screams.
Bloody murder. She screams bloody murder. She doesn't know what she just encountered, because after that first slash, all sounds disappeared. It was quiet. Too quiet. She stands still. She rips her sleeve off her shirt to cover the wounds from her slash. She doesn't know what it was. It's pitch black outside. She sits perfectly still. Not a noise to be heard. No rustling. All she can hear is her heavy breathing and her fast heart rate. And whatever the hell that sound was.
It's supposed to be heavy breathing.
That was good.
It was good.
It was.
That was good. Okay, so she doesn't know what to do. She's paralyzed in fear. She's just been attacked. Her boyfriend's dead and hanging from his legs. In the distance, you can still see him swaying. Back and forth. Back and forth.
Just as she starts to hear the rustling again, she sees a car drive by. So she starts running to the road, hoping someone will see her, hoping someone will save her. By the time she gets to the road, the car has passed. She tries waving her arms in the air, hoping that maybe they'll look back and see her. Nothing. She makes her way back up the road, hoping she can catch another car. Finally, out of nowhere, there's a car driving, no headlights on. She starts waving them down, and they turn them on and flash her. The car starts to slow down. Guy rolls his window down. He sees she's in distress.
So he asks, what's wrong? What happened to you? So she tries to explain to him, but she's out of breath. She's terrified out of her wits. She's coming off as incoherent. So the guy says, okay. Puts the car in park, hops out of the vehicle, brings her over, puts her in the passenger seat. Closes her in, says, I'll get you to town. He gets back in the car. They start driving. They're driving down the road. She's starting to calm down. He's like, "Can you tell me what happened?" She starts trying to tell him about she came out here with a boyfriend. They were underneath some trees off in the Gates Pass area, and they heard some weird noises. When the boyfriend went out to go look, he was gone for quite a while. So I don't know how long he was gone for. I ended up dozing off. When I woke up, I started hearing this weird noise. Just a back and forth. He goes, "Well, what did it sound like?" She goes, "Well, at first I didn't know till I got out of the car, and there my boyfriend was, just dangling from the tree. Dead. Had slash marks all over his body. His coat was what was dragging across the car." He goes, "Is it the... Well, what attacked him?" She goes, "I don't know. It was the same thing that attacked me. That's the reason why I got this nasty wound on my arm." He goes, "Well, don't worry. We'll be in town soon." And just as he looks forward, he sees something in the road. Can't identify what it is. So he flashes the headlights, thinking maybe it's just an animal that, hasn't gotten out of the road yet. It's not moving. So he starts to slow down. Meanwhile, she's starting to hyperventilate because she sees it, and it looks...
It looks like what it could have attacked her. This was a 10-foot beast standing in the middle of the road, yellow glowing eyes staring right at them, glaring hard, wasn't moving, was standing its ground, would not let that car pass. They both sat in the car paralyzed in fear. Meanwhile, all of his electronics in his car just shut off. Pitch black. They locked their doors, but they magically unlocked themselves. Their seatbelts undo themselves. Their doors fling open unexpectedly. And what happens next is not for the faint of heart.
The beast reaches out his claws. He sticks it into the grill of the car and he flips it over and they go tumbling out of the vehicle. The car's just rolling. You can just hear the crunching, the crushing, the screams of the other man, the passenger. And in the distance, you can just hear heavy breathing of the beast. She looks over and the passenger is mutilated. He's cut in half from his car. The beast goes and sniffs him. He starts to eat him in front of her. And she passes out. She wakes up in the hospital and they're asking her what happened. She tells them the story, but everyone thinks she's crazy. They said the wounds were probably caused from a psychopath, not a beast. It takes her weeks to recover, but she's healing faster than she normally would. She starts to notice changes. She can hear better. She can see better. And she can smell things that no one else can smell. As the weeks go on and she's recovering, she starts to get anxious, especially at night, especially when she sees the moon.
She starts to get nervous and afraid of what's happening to her body. Why is she getting so hungry all the time? No matter what she eats, it seems like it can never sate her hunger. Why is the moon makes her so anxious and so captivating? She goes back to the hospital, talk to a psychiatric doctor about this to see maybe is there something wrong with my head? Is it from the trauma? So she tells him all about it, tells him about the changes in her body. and how she's always hungry. She's always anxious. She can smell, hear, and see better than she ever could before. Her wounds have healed at an alarming rate. The doctor said this is just your body's way of coping with the trauma you faced. With time, it should pass. But for now, I can give you some medication that will help ease off the anxiety and everything. Keep away the depression. It's like, but doc, I don't feel depressed. I feel excited, especially when the moon is out. When there's a full moon out and shining brightly. It's like my blood starts to boil. Doctor says, that's just another form of anxiety. I'll give you some anti-anxiety pills. So she takes her medication. She goes back to her house. Police had already, they came, she called the police to ask if there was any other information about the crime scene and whatnot. They told her there's nothing new yet. We're still looking for the serial killer or the potential serial killer that could have done this. Because a lot of the victims were carrying a lot of similars to a serial killer that's been in different states. So they think maybe that we're next, but we'll put a stop to it. It eased their mind a little bit knowing the police are on it. But then that night, her blood starts boiling, worse than it ever did. And she'd already taken her medication, but it seems like her body was rejecting it. She's wriggling in pain. Feels like something's changing. She opens the window, and there, up in the sky, is a full moon, shining brightly.
This was the first supermoon of the season. With the window open and the bright moonlight shining through her window, clearly the medication was not doing anything to help her situation. She feels her blood boiling. She feels all this changes. Just, she tries to lay down. She tries to, grab a drink, whatever. She's trying to soothe this feeling, but it can't be suppressed. She's laying in bed, where suddenly she starts convulsing, rapidly changing. Her legs grow 3 times her regular height. She is now getting covered in hair. The claws are extruding from her fingers, and her jaw is protruding from her face. And she has this unwavering need to eat.
To satisfy her hunger, she bursts through the window and she starts running through the roads. She starts making her way out to the desert Gates Pass. She sees a group of teenagers drinking, having fun. Their sounds of laughter hurt her ears. It's so loud. The clinking of the beer bottles. She can't take it anymore. And all of a sudden, one slash, she sees blood everywhere. She gets that warm taste of his blood and she realizes it's her first kill.
The others scream when they saw this beast emerge from the woods and slash one of their friends and lick its claws, getting that taste of the blood. Some attempt to jump in their car to run away, but the cars don't start. She goes over. As soon as she gets near it, the door just opens. The seatbelt that was holding one of the girls tightly in her seat is no longer on her. She reaches in, grabs the girl, rips her out, takes a huge bite right from her neck, rips her neck, half her neck right off her body, chews loudly. The others scream. The other 2 guys get out of their car. They run into the woods. The boyfriend of the girl she just killed, petrified in the front seat. She takes the body, another bite out of it, savors it, puts the body back in the car, and slams the door shut. She starts smelling the air. She can smell the other 2. She can smell their fear.
And that's what triggered her even more. She thought she was satisfying that hunger. Then she smelt that fear. She went chasing through the woods, tracking these other two teenagers' exact steps. The one thing she didn't realize is she got ahead of them somehow. She runs 10 times faster than they do and knows exactly where they're heading. So she stops. She waits in silence. She's never been able to be this quiet before either. Even her breathing is non-existent. You can't hear her pulse. You can't hear her breathe. She can smell and sense everything tenfold, but she can't make a sound. And as the teenagers come running together, because they ran together, instead of separating, walk into their inevitable doom. As they cross over the last branch where she is hiding, they are both slashed in the face at the exact same time. Both their bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. See, we're all on the same page there. Okay. We'll lighten it up a little bit there. Then she starts to eat. Rips their heads off. Starts with their face. Peels it like an orange. Goes for the chest, the legs. Chows. Leaves pretty much nothing but scraps and clothes. Is at this point, dawn is approaching. She makes her way back home. And that's where she realized
She is the beast.
the end.
Oh, that was a good story.
Yeah, what?
Yes. That was a good story.
And hey, not everybody died. That one dude, although I think he pissed shit himself, and he's probably gonna be in a psycho ward for quite a while. I mean,
He's the next beast.
well, no, she never touched him.
Oh,
Remember, she just threw the dead body of his
that's true.
girlfriend
That's
back
true.
into the car.
That's true. That was really good, guys. That was really good. All right, Jason, you start the next one.
Oh, there's another one?
oh shit!
We all start one.
Oh, I didn't know
stories.
that.
I
Okay.
didn't know. I thought it was just gonna be a one.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
How long is that one?
20 minutes.
20
Oh,
minutes.
that's good.
Ah,
Oof,
shit.
let me get some drink.
Do we all need to take a break?
Yeah, we need to take
Yeah.
a break.
And we're back. And for the next story, we're going to have a little fun.
Yes.
We're going to change up our voices, so good luck knowing who is who.
Oh yeah.
You're up.
Did you just go and give away who I was?
Yeah, I just said you're up.
Oh,
I didn't say who was up. I said you were up.
good point. Good point. Let's see. Need the crackling of the fire. God, I sound like a Ricky. Alright, story tonight takes place on a construction site. It'd been a long 12-hour shift. Lots of hammering. The machine going. It was finally the end of the day. They blew the whistle for the end of shift. Everybody's pretty much gone, and the security guard's just making his rounds, you know? Double checking, make sure nobody's there that shouldn't be. And when all of a sudden, he hears a weird noise. Not the one I was thinking. It sounded more like, well, it was sounded like a crackling of a fire. It was, which he thought was odd because there shouldn't be any fire. Well, as he's looking around, he can't see it, but then he looks up at the construction. They're building a skyscraper, and he sees a glow. Now all the lights should have been off. And so he goes to investigate. And as he gets up there, as he's riding the elevator up, he starts hearing almost what sounds like hammering in a jackhammer. Good try. So he gets up to roughly where it is. The elevator stops. He climbs out. He sees the fire pit that they use to heat up the rivets. Fire's just going. And he gets closer to it, and he sees there's some rivets in there. They're getting heated up. And it's weird because he knows that the company always turns this off and makes sure all the rivets are out. So he starts looking around. Doesn't see nobody. So he goes to try and figure out, to turn off the fire. Just as he gets it off, he hears the hammering again. But it sounds like it's coming from above. He looks up. And he sees a light. It's one of the construction lights. Well, he remembered when he was down on the floor, they were all off. So he gets an elevator to go up.
But the elevator won't move. It's stuck. It was just working 10 fucking minutes ago. But it's stuck. So he takes the stairs. One step at a time. And an hour later, he makes it to the floor. He has ADHD. He was distracted counting bolts and nuts on the floor. Don't judge him. He goes to the room with the construction light. And in the middle of the room stands the shadowy, dark figure, glaring at him from the distance. And then he disappears.
Lights start flickering. He can see his shadow. In the corner, it's dark. But he sees this big eyes staring at him. The creature emerges from the dark and starts walking towards him. He's got a long, slender body and a small mouth full of teeth. He wants to investigate. Who is this? What are you doing here? This is instructions.
The figure says nothing. Just stops. The security guard is starting to get nervous because he sees in his hand, he's got a hammer in one hand and set of pliers in the other hand. Similar type of pliers as the ones the tongs use for rivets. So he asks again, "What are you doing here? The site is closed. You should not be here." The figure still says nothing. Starts walking closer. Security guard takes a couple steps back. He's like, "Don't come any closer. I have a gun. I will shoot you if I have to, but do not come any closer." The figure stops. just stares at him. The security guard's looking at his small, sunken eyes. They look like they burn a bright red, like the color of a heated up rivet. The creature just turns, walks over to another corner of the room, reaches into the cauldron, pulls out a rivet, puts it against the beam, and just starts hammering. 2 hits, it's in. He reaches down, grabs another, repeats the process. Security guard, once again in a louder voice, goes, "Hey! What are you doing here? You are not authorized to be here. You need to leave." The creature stops mid-swing, turns to the security guard, pulls the rivet back from the wall. And in an instant, he hits the rivet out of the tongs, straight into the security guard's shoulder.
And while his shoulder is slowly burning in agony, he goes for his gun, and then the figure disappears. It's just him alone in that room now. He sits there, he pulls the rivet out of his shoulder. It's burning, it's throbbing, he's in pain. He's like, why the fuck did I take this job? Starting to sound like Freddy at Five Nights at Freddy's. Anyways, he sits there. He walks over to the cauldron where the burning rivets are. He looks at the pillar where he's putting these rivets, and there's this picture in the steel of a shape. It's like an animal with horns, smoldered into the iron of this building. And then above him, he starts hearing and he's like, fuck, he's upstairs.
He tries to make his way back to the elevator, for the pain in him won't let him walk up the stairs. He makes his way and all the lights turn on and off. He gets to the top. He noticed that in the dust of the construction, there's hoof prints. What he heard wasn't him. It was a creature. Creature.
I literally thought you said preacher. My bad.
Creature. He starts walking away. He wants to get out of there, but as soon as he turns back to the elevator, the door closes. And he sees the reflection of horns behind him. He hears heavy breathing. He turns back, draws his gun, and once again the creature is gone. He takes out his gun and shoots anyways, shoots anything moving. He sees birds flying out. Then the elevator dings and starts making its way down, leaving him trapped on the top floor.
He starts making his way to where the stairs should be. But then he realizes it's only the framework. The stairs haven't been put in this high yet. So he realizes I'm trapped. He starts hearing those footprints again. He checks his ammo. Quickly reloads his gun. His left arm that he got hit in the shoulder with, it's almost useless. He's barely able to reload the gun. He can hardly move it because the pain is so severe. The only thing he's thankful for is that because it was red hot, it seared the blood vessels. So he doesn't have to worry about bleeding out. But he hears The footsteps getting closer. He's looking all around. He doesn't see anything. And the footsteps seem to go right by him. Slowly go right by him. He's still looking and realizes, wait, it must be on another floor. So, he's trying to think and remembers there's another elevator. The service elevator. One they use for bringing up all the loads. So he makes his way over there cautiously, looking around every corner. He makes it to the elevator. Open, please be up here and beyond. It was on the floor, and it was on. He gets in, closes the door, and presses the button.
The elevator starts to move. Very, very slowly. Slower than it's supposed to go. Like it's going slow. And he hears this weird creaking noise. Yes, that creaking noise. And then it comes to a sudden stop in between two floors. He's trapped, nowhere to go, the doors won't open, it's not responding to any button pushing. It's like someone killed the power. And then the lights in the elevator start flickering on, off, and then off, and off again, and off. With more off that you can't do anything with. It's just so much fucking off. It's off. He's paralyzed. His shoulders throbbing. He's hungry. It's his lunch break, but he's chasing this thing.
If he catches him, he's gonna eat him because he's so hungry. The lights turn back on and there's a reflection of the creature ripping through the metal to get to the security guard. They start rustling. He feels his claws rip through his legs. He starts struggling, but he bites him. Instead of blood, it's just this black oil spewing from his body. He knows it's not human, he has no idea what it is, but he has to defeat it. He then grabs his taser, and he uses it, just sticks him in the gut, and he starts on fire. It's burning. Burning, he's screaming in agony. The flames go above his horns, he's melting. Smell of sulfur.
I'm melting.
Security guard is winning. He's winning this war.
Then, as the creature falls down, writhing in pain, the security guard uses what little strength he has left in his leg to kick the monster back on the floor. It goes out the elevator light turns on, and it starts to descend, but at a normal pace. The security guard's thinking, I did it. I won. I'm going to live. He gets down to the bottom floor. The door is open. And at first, he sees shadows, thinking, oh my God, there's more of them. Then, from around the corner, security guard sees a light, grabs his gun, points it. Just as he hears the police officers yell, freeze! Who are you? The security guard breathes a sigh of relief. He drops his gun, tells him who he is and what just happened to him. Police come, they say, we heard gunshots and the sounds of hammers from the neighbors. They take him out of the elevator, bring him to a waiting ambulance, and the detectives sends a group to go search the building for this creature. He says it's a couple floors up, I don't know where at. So, while the police are searching, the EMTs are bandaging him up, and the detective comes and gets the full story, so he explains everything he did. By the time he gets done and they're ready to haul him to the hospital, the group that was searching the building come back to report to the lead detective.
Sir, there's something you should know. Billy went up the elevator with us, but he did not return. He disappeared. We went up to the multiple floors, lights flickering on, off. The elevator kept stopping at every floor, randomly. It's like roll the dice of what floor you would land on. And this weird screeching noise kept happening and happening. Sir, I can't explain it. And there was oil all over the floor. We don't know what happened. But we found this strange symbol bolted into the iron. In the shape
of a 6. 6. Then all of a sudden, a brick fell and hit the security guard. Blacked out. And when he woke up, they told him, "It's your lunch break. You fell asleep."
that was good.
That was excellent. I love that twist at the end of, oh, he fell asleep and someone woke him up for his break. Nice.
That was good.